everyone. This is Ali Hussein Kasim of Ali Talks Tech. In this week's weekly roundup, we're covering a number of stories. To kick off, just some highlights. Big Tech's nuclear shift, powering artificial intelligence and data centers. We'll also look at the impact of AI on the consulting business. We will also check out what Kenya's government is all about when it comes to crypto and the real-time tax system that is on the horizon. And lastly, I'll touch on Jamie Dimon's Africa expedition. For those of you who may not know, Jamie Dimon is the group CEO of JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the US. So let's take a quick look on Big Tech's huge investment in nuclear plants. What is basically powering this conversation across Big Tech? Amazon, Google, all the big tech companies that are involved in large data centers that are powering artificial intelligence are moving or starting to think about nuclear power. Now, let's look at this in a couple of ways. First, there's the issue about the whole sustainability conversation. Nuclear power is clean, reliable, reduces carbon footprint. It has a potential for long-term savings. But the important thing to also think about or consider is the fact that these humongous data centers that are required for artificial intelligence require lots of power. And there is a shortage of energy in the world today. There are some challenges that nuclear power will have to surmount. These include safety, advanced reactor designs, and strict regulations to ensure that there are proper safety protocols. I don't need to talk to you about if there's a big accident in a nuclear power plant, what can happen. Chernobyl is one word that you need to think about. Waste management is an area that requires deep investment and research, ongoing research. And of course, there's a public perception around nuclear power plants. I think one of the most recent ones is the huge debate going on in the Kenyan coast, where the Kenyan government has proposed a nuclear power plant. So there's got to be lots of education required in this space. What's the big picture in this conversation? The tech industry's commitment to sustainable energy solutions, but also the fact that AI and data centers require loads and loads of power. And what is currently available is just simply not enough. Now we move to the impact of artificial intelligence on consulting. Recently, PwC has signed a reseller agreement with OpenAI. You may ask, what has PwC got to do with starting to do reseller agreements with a tech company like OpenAI? But this is crucial. AI is changing our lives. It's already starting to have huge impact in the workplace. And signing this OpenAI agreement will open up interesting opportunities for PwC. Of note is that PwC is now the largest customer of OpenAI's business product, with plans to roll this out through their ChatGPT enterprise to PwC's customers and internal use of over 100,000 employees starting in the US and the UK. This partnership is or will or promises to give PwC access to OpenAI's latest multi-model model GPT 4.0 through the GPT enterprise. What are the implications for this partnership? Will we see other huge consulting companies like the Big Four McKinsey, and the rest, I think your guess is as good as mine. But the strategic implications is, number one, this is part of PwC's 1 billion 3-year AI roadmap, which was announced last year in April. It aims to leverage the partnership to enhance consulting services and provide AI-driven solutions to clients. The firm is also developing custom GPTs for tasks, simple tasks like tax returns, reviews, proposal generation, and software development assistance. I think we all know, if you are in this space, in the consulting space, you can just imagine how important these AI platforms are becoming in terms of making you highly productive and doing 10x of what you are currently doing. What would be the impact of AI's entry into the consulting business? Number one, I see this as transformational to consulting practices. It's enabling data analysis, automation of routine tasks, and generation of insights, allowing consultants to focus on higher value activities. That's key, guys. It's super, super key, because with the proper use of AI tools, one consultant can probably do 10 times what they're currently doing. Technology is definitely enhancing the abilities to provide personalized customer interactions and risk management solutions. It is also being used for trend forecasting, scenario analysis, and knowledge management within consulting businesses. There will be new offerings consulting firms are looking to develop with AI-based products. New roles and skill sets will be required. Some firms are already adopting new innovative pricing models, such as contingency-based fees and integrating digital advertising services. Here are some challenges that I see going forward. While AI's efficiency is not something that we can debate about, it cannot, at least for the moment, fully replace human consultants, especially in areas that require complex problem solving and strategic thinking. Although that's debatable, honestly, that's debatable. From the point from where I'm sitting and the tools that I'm currently using, AI is already starting to be a lot more efficient in terms of complex problem solving. I think this ship is probably starting to sail. Obviously, there are concerns about potential job displacement and the need for consultants to upskill to remain relevant. There are issues to do with trust, data privacy, and ethical use of AI. I mean, let's face it, for AI to be super efficient, it requires mounds and mounds of data. So there's an issue of data privacy, there's an issue of who owns the data, there's an issue of access or accent to data. So there are a lot of issues to deal with, ethical conversations. How is the future looking like as far as consulting is concerned when it comes to artificial intelligence? We will likely see continued growth and transformation driven by AI adoption. Successful firms must balance these capabilities with human expertise to provide comprehensive solutions. There is also an increased focus on helping customers navigate their own AI transformations across various industries. This should be interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, we are already starting to talk about artificial general intelligence, for example. Where are we at? Are we reaching a point where artificial general intelligence is going to be something that is actually happening? So a couple of days ago, I haven't finished reading this article by Leopold Aschenbrenner, who argues that AGI, or artificial general intelligence, will potentially be achieved by 2027. So mixing that with what is actually going on with consulting businesses, you can actually see the opportunities, challenges, the risks. This is a topic that you will be hearing a lot from me going forward. So let's keep this conversation going. I want to now move to my home country, Kenya, where the Kenya Revenue Authority has announced that it's gearing up to launch a groundbreaking real-time tax system to monitor and tax cryptocurrency transactions. The key points to consider: integration with exchanges, transaction details, market size, tax calculations. What are these implications? This move might signal a significant, will signal a significant shift in Kenya's approach to cryptocurrency regulation. While the sector remains largely unregulated by reporting authorities like the Central Bank of Kenya and Capital Markets Authority, the Kenya Revenue Authority asserts that earnings from crypto are eligible to tax under the Income Tax Act. Obviously, there are laws that need to be implemented for this to happen. So this is an evolving story. Last but not least, I want to cover Jamie Dimon's Africa expedition. Could this be a game changer? I think let's be honest about this. JP Morgan Chase is a huge financial services player. And the fact that the CEO of this bank has had a whistle-stop tour of Africa from Abuja to Nairobi to Johannesburg in the last week signifies the continued importance of Africa in the global financial services ecosystem. I don't see JP Morgan setting up a full-fledged retail bank, for example. I see them focusing more on commercial banking and possibly lending to countries. But the key focus areas, in my humble opinion, will be to see them expanding their footprint across multiple African countries, not necessarily all, but a footprint, for example, in Nairobi will allow them to cover Eastern Central Africa region. Footprint in Abuja will allow them to cover Western Africa, and they already have a footprint and operating office in Johannesburg where they are already covering large corporate customers. Certain implications that I see: number one, increased foreign investment. When JP Morgan shows interest, it is likely to attract other global players, potentially leading to a surge in foreign direct investment in African financial services. Potential technology transfer. However, I think when it comes to financial services, I would dare say countries like Kenya are quite ahead when it comes to technology. In actual fact, when it comes to, and this might come as a surprise to some of my listeners, but when it comes to stuff like instant payments, the whole tech ecosystem around financial services, Kenya is pretty ahead. We are punching way above our weight. So I don't see much impact in this space with JP Morgan's entrance. Potential job creation, of course. Enhanced financial inclusion, maybe. Not necessarily. Challenges and opportunities. While the expansion presents exciting prospects, JP Morgan will need to navigate one, diverse regulatory environments across African countries, competition from established local banks. However, I must say tongue-in-cheek that all the banks in Eastern Central Africa will not fit into JP Morgan's balance sheet and then leave a good chunk of change. These challenges will also present opportunities for sure for innovation and collaboration that could benefit both JP and the African financial ecosystem. I think for me, the most crucial thing listening to Jamie Dimon speaking last week is the confidence that he's showing in the region will have a multiplier effect for the African financial services ecosystem. And that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you.